None of these motherfuckers is going to come up with a good idea.
Why are we having a freedom?
Can you find the thing?
Why are we having a Freedom Good Home show on the day of Emma Balfour's wedding? Because fuck her.
Yeah, fuck her.
Because fuck her. Bing bang bong. Let's get back into it. Nice shirt, Ben Jenkins. Thank you. My wife bought it for me for my 35th birthday.
All right, I'd like some compliments too.
Do a stand up again? Do a stand up again?
I got a haircut today as well, so nobody even mentioned that either.
So is somebody going to mention Simon's haircut now?
I like your haircut, Simon.
Thank you, Ben.
I think it's
Are
really
there
good.
tentacles on your shirt?
Yeah.
I think it's Dwagons.
It's wagons.
Oh, it's
No,
dragons.
that's the big breasted
Oh, it is.
anime
Oh, I can
women on
see
this
it.
On
side.
the back there's a big
Yeah.
titty anime girl because Anya knows what I like.
If you're just tuning in now, this is a new podcast that we are trying. It is called MPT, aka Monster Pitch Theatre and Nothing Else. It's a podcast where we are making a one-shot, and today's theme is creature features.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us the story that we've come up with
Yeah,
so far?
so far, if you're just joining us, we have decided this is a story about a salvager ship that your heroes will find themselves on to get somewhere in your narrative, and they will get. It's staffed by probably 5 to 6 sort of scrappers, whose job it is to sort of take wrecks and extract value from them. Sometimes hired to do so. Sometimes they just, like in this case, just happen upon them. And they are going to go into that ship that is now a kind of ghost ship, and they are going to one by one be picked off by a creature that we haven't really decided what it looks like yet. But that ship was probably transporting.
Yeah, we said like one of the first things they see is a cage.
Grug Stan said that as loath as I am to give that man credit, he did have that image of a cage burst open. Loath as I am.
Yeah.
I like him. I think I've met him a couple of times.
Yeah, good on you.
Lovely man.
I don't think I've
But
met
if
Greg
you...
Stan.
Sorry.
I ordered the stuff, but when you said one of the bottles of stuff is for me, so when you see it, don't be like, bloody, come on, mate.
Alright. So let's...
Is it a beacon that they respond to, or do they just find it?
I think they find it.
I think they come across it. I think I do like the idea that depending on your genre, they have been able to send up something some time ago. Like I think these bodies are cold. I think
Ghost ship.
I think this happened like.
What if there's a fire on the deck of that ship and it's like something's there and it's like.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because
and so there's some destruction. They put it out, but
That's interesting because also that's probably how they find the ship because they see the
Yeah.
plume
They
of
see the-
smoke.
yeah,
and
yeah.
they sail towards it. So it's all just happened. But there's 6 dead bodies basically on.
yeah, and I think that this
Or does
is,
it eat the thing? Does it eat?
No, well, I think we can kind of have our cake and eat it too. There, like I think that there's body parts.
It can like drain them or whatever.
Yeah,
Exsanguinate.
I think like remains are so much more interesting than like just body.
Yeah.
Crap. You know what I mean? Like an ear.
And I think we now need to actually
these
just.
are pretty cool though. If you think about it, look at them.
Teeth. That's the one thing it doesn't eat.
Just spits out your teeth.
It hates the teeth.
So yeah, that's cool. I reckon this whole thing happened for our own notes like 3 days ago, maybe.
Yep.
Like the monster got loose 3 days ago.
I wonder if there's a way that we can do this, not to go completely all the thing, but I would love the idea that the monster has been feeding on them over successive nights, so that they've had time.
They've had their own
They've
kind
had
of
time
stalking.
to try. One person's died. They've been like, one of us is a murderer. Another person's died. They've been like, I think that monster's getting out of the cage at night.
Oh,
Another
okay.
person dies.
Ooh,
They're
theory.
like, you know, and then they're like,
Do you know what-
they barricaded half of the ship.
Do you know what's quite funny about transporting that monster?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to see it until it had decided to kill 2 of them.
Oh man, that's
Why not?
Because you can only
can't
see it once
see
it
it.
marks you.
Oh, right.
So they're like transporting an empty cage.
So they don't know.
So maybe
it's getting out.
Maybe they've been tricked. Maybe they've been told that they're transporting a cage. No. I think they know exactly what they're doing. They don't know what it is. But they've been told there's an invisible monster in this. It's going to try and trick you. Don't open the cage. Don't even look at the
It
cage.
should be an opaque cage.
Yeah.
It should be a box. It shouldn't be a cage.
Don't open the crate.
It's a crate,
Don't
yeah.
hang around the crate. If the crate.
Yeah.
Fucking guy.
Oh,
Whatever
you
it
get
is.
fucking references.
Sometimes at night you might hear singing from the crate. Get off the fucking deck.
Yeah.
Like it's very. It's a spooky crate and it's covered in chains.
Yeah.
And they have to just back the fuck out off it.
And it's got It's got on each side of the
And
box.
Kong's in the cage.
And Kong is in there, but on each side of the crate, it has shotgun pointed at the side of the crate.
I think initially, as Mo's just said in the chat, I think initially and these are all people we'll never meet because they're dead. But just to get it clear in our heads, and
One of
just
them's got a diary though.
yeah, one of them's got a diary, and we'll probably like find their story in parts as perhaps body parts.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yawn at you. It just came along. I'm sorry.
Is that they probably, as Mo says, they probably initially thought they were just taking money from cranks.
Yeah, but they were paying well.
Yeah, they were paying well
Yeah.
to transport this thing. They said, like, do not under any circumstances open this box.
And they're like, I reckon there's a political prisoner in there or something.
because it does move around. Maybe you can hear it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can talk to you, but only one person will hear
Oh,
it.
and get this, when they opened the crate, it's weird because it was so heavy and it was making noise. It was empty.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And that's how it gets out.
Yeah, they make the
Yeah.
decision to open the crate because
Yeah.
they convince themselves that they are smuggling. They convince themselves they're being paid 2,000 gold coins for this trip, and they're smuggling 40,000 gold coins worth of political prisoners or just treasure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
finally, there's a mutiny, and they kill the captain. The captain's like, I made a deal with a powerful wizard. Don't open the crate.
Yeah.
They open the crate and they doom themselves.
Okay, great. So
Yeah.
it gets in the vents, the fantasy
Yeah,
vents.
fantasy vents.
Crunk Phonics, this isn't just aliens. All right, it's
not.
Crunk Phonicas, it's not just aliens.
It's not even slightly
I'm,
like
I'm
aliens.
sorry, but if anything, it's Gilgamesh. All right.
What's the monster?
It's not aliens.
You know, maybe because we were talking
invisible.
about aliens, and maybe because we were talking about this last time we did this, I really like some kind of insectoid fucking crab scuttler.
Yeah. It doesn't. I guess. What were you drawing before, Simon?
Before, somebody was talking about rabbits, so we were talking about Watership Down. So that was kind of like a
Oh wow!
like a kind of a myxomatosis-y kind of
that's
rabbity
sick.
thing. But I think I don't know if that's good for a seafaring adventure.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a seafaring creature. Then
No.
what's great about this is the creature's trapped on the fucking ship. But do you know
Oh
what?
yeah, that's true. We should make it that the creature can't swim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the creature maybe the creature needs to keep enough people alive to sort of sail the ship to get it home. But eventually the doomed last people on this ship work out, like they even kill themselves to trap it. This is getting a bit aliens. But like,
It's getting to be the thing. I actually think that Demi was right in the first instance that this thing doesn't have a grand plan. It's just rage and hate
agree.
and power.
but I do like the idea that it is smart and that it can speak to
Oh
you.
yeah, it's smart in the way that a wolf is smart.
And it'll be like, you'll hear a child's voice and you walk past the crate and it'll be like, open the door, mister, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Like,
Why is
Just
it
like
being-
that,
why
and
is
I
it
would
being
kick the
transported,
box
though?
because that kid sounds annoying as hell.
Why is it being transported and not just killed?
Because
the
it's
Wizards
weapons.
of Thay want
Yeah,
it.
weapons.
It's a weapon.
Okay.
That's alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That aliens is 1,000%.
No, but I mean, it's
a
just
weapon.
it's
But
wizards
it
want
makes
it.
sense, yeah.
Wizards love it. They get horrible little stiffies.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's rare, and
They
they
drink
can
its
use it
milk
for
and-
all these studies and fucking stuff,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and they want
They'll
to
put a
put
hat on
it
it.
Maybe
too.
they're studying it, but who cares? Okay.
Dungeon Masters, do your little whatever.
Yeah, whatever, you figure it
You
out.
want us to do? You want us to hold your dick while you piss too? Is that what you want? Is that what you want? I'm doing a new bit where I'm horrible.
I'm so angry that you're listening to our new podcast.
I wonder if that really doesn't come across. I wonder if that comes across worse in audio because you can't see me barrel the camera.
It's hard to say.
Nah, I don't think so.
Let's work out the cast. Oh, Crew of the Carpenter.
I think that's a good thing to do. Let's work out the crew of the carpenter. So we need a captain.
The carpenter or the guard of
Oh,
I
no,
think-
sorry,
I think-
no, the Shrike
The
is what we
Shrike.
need.
I think
yeah.
the ghost ship is the no. I think the ghost ship is the Shrike, and the scavenger vessel is the carpenter.
Are they gonna?
Ghost ship could be the walrus.
Is the sorry, just because I think I missed a step here. Is the monster getting on the carpenter, or are they staying on the Shrike once they find?
I think the ships are moored together, and eventually there's a point, presumably, where the captain of the carpenter's like, "Fuck this!
Yeah.
I'm cutting the ropes. We're cutting it adrift. We're going." And then at that point, they discover that unfortunately the creature has
Unmoored
transferred
them
Yeah.
already.
Okay.
onto the carpenter.
Okay, cool.
Or right. So they have like a preliminary getaway, and
And they think
then-
they've left it there.
Yeah.
I think the main characters are called shit like Buck. That's cool. Let's do
So
Buck.
what did you like about Kurt Russell's character in
Prick, but I don't think he's like a captain.
No.
I think he's like, I mean, like, do we want to just do archetypes and then we can fill in?
Yeah.
So let's do like the volatile loner, the mother figure who's like the captain that keeps them all together. Let's have like, she's like, you know, maybe a bit older. She kind of
Absolutely will kill one of them to save the rest of them.
No, I reckon she is. Oh yeah, to save the rest of them maybe.
Like they all can be ruthless when they have to.
I read a good.
Margaret Thatcher.
I read a good. What's the fucking guy's name who likes squids?
What's the guy who likes squids?
Adrian Tchaikovsky. I read a good like one that he just clearly shut out in between good books, where there was like a team of like space pirates, and the captain called quite sincerely called all his kids. All of his crew, his children. I like that kind of vibe. That this woman is like, you know, and she wouldn't just take anybody. She'd like, you know, probably like whenever they do go to port, people try and join, and she like.
But also she protects them from the cops because some of them are like wanted.
Yeah.
Some of them are on the sea.
She's Joe Exotic.
Right. Well, what we were talking about. Yeah. That idea that Joe Exotic is like creates a sort of like a drag house for people that like can't operate in that world. That's a similar idea. Yeah. She gives them food and board, and they would die for her.
Yeah.
And she's got the responsibility of it.
Okay.
And she hires a hitman to kill Carol Baskin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
and everyone thinks it's very funny. They don't sort of think about like.
Now, we then have like, let's go to the other end of the spectrum. There, we've got to have a sniveling shithead.
Does she like him, or is it? Yeah.
You reckon the cook's a sniveling shithead?
Yeah, he's just complaining about everything all the time, and he actually doesn't do any of the work or any of the hard stuff, but he's got the job on the ship.
The professor from Lost in Space.
Oh fuck! Yeah,
the professor.
Yeah. Because the cook, I'm always like, oh, he's for some reason like, I would be imagining the cook like a fucking what's his name from the Siege. You know the Siege?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Which one in the Siege?
Like
the main fucking guy.
The Patrick. No.
Oh,
Do you mean the martial arts
You
film,
mean
The
Under
Siege?
Siege?
The Malaysian
I
film?
meant Under Siege.
Steven
Simon.
Seagal.
No, Steven Seagal.
No, I reckon it should be. It should be. I reckon a chef, the cook, who just is like a fuckwit, but he's a really good cook. So they're just like.
Yeah, I think
like
that's it.
that.
Yeah.
What do you think of another?
Grog Stan, you've done it again.
What?
Preacher.
Oh yeah.
There's a preacher who, but like he's not there, or she's not there in her capacity as a preacher. She's there because maybe she's been excommunicated. Or
I kind of like the idea of a character that they all call preacher.
Yeah.
I was just gonna fucking say that.
And because she'll give sermons and stuff, but you don't even know if she used to be a preacher. But she's.
Oh, sorry. I just want to point out that Grug erased Mo there.
Oh, well, that's Grug.
A non-binary person too.
Wait, what? How? What?
Like, because it was actually Mo's idea.
But Grug made Ben credit Grug.
Yeah.
Grug, why would you do that?
Could you do me a real big favour, Grug, and do better? Could you do that for me, buddy? Thanks, pal.
This is a learning experience for you, Grug.
And I think take it on board. Don't get upset.
Yeah.
If you
I think just change.
You think this is unfair? Internalize. Process.
Yeah, Mo says she's been hate crimed, and they've been hate crimed. Fuck! I just hate
You
crimed
fucking idiot! Yes.
Grug, you win again.
No, I was going to say preacher's great, cook's great.
Mo reacting.
What about another passenger who is somebody in the arcane world who can sort of might know a little bit more than they let on, is maybe looking for the ship, or you know what I mean, like somebody who knows.
Oh my God, John Voight, Anaconda. John Voight.
The guy who was like, because we were trying to remember what John Voight's deal in Anaconda was last time.
Just that he was being fucking insane and really strange.
Who's like he was like trying to find the snake, and everyone was trying to get away from the snake.
Been a long time since I've been with a woman.
What? Excuse me, sir.
John Voight.
You're white. What is this? Oh fuck.
So
That's great. So then you know what we need is we need a boxer. We need
What?
We need the
heavy?
the old strong man who is unkillable until he is destroyed by this monster to demonstrate
Yeah, that's
his
good.
strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
The engine man.
Yeah.
The engineer. The ship's engineer.
Yeah,
So we've got preacher, we've got captain, we've
Or
got
it could be a
shit.
fucking Gwendolyn Christie type that you're like, that was just some fucking massive woman. Holy shit. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Let's have like the
For no reason, massive.
the brick shit house
Yeah.
who doesn't have to be
They
any
can be
particular
whatever they-
gender.
Yeah.
Well, same with, that was what Ripley was. Ripley never had a gender until they cast Krim Grom. Sigourney.
Sigourney?
Did you call it Crimgrum?
Sigourney Weavers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise known as
So
Krim
we've got 4 here. We've got preacher, captain, cook, and fighter. And we wanted somebody who's maybe our
And
like.
chimpanzee.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a different column for chimps.
Hold on. What? Sorry. Preacher and what?
Preacher, captain, cook, fighter. Captain Cook.
Loner.
Captain Cook.
Loner.
Butcher,
Is
vegan,
the
candlestick
cook,
maker.
the cook is kind of a loner, or
I
are
thought they
they?
were sniveling coward.
Okay. Well, let's have a loner with a secret then, because I think honestly, if we're doing this as a one shot, like
Yeah, you're right,
getting
actually.
5 characters and then your own guys.
Should we do 4 then?
No, I reckon a ship needs 5. I reckon.
Okay.
You know, it's in the book.
Wait. Go through it again.
Preacher,
Yes.
captain, the sniveling cook, the fighter,
Okay.
and then maybe
The pretty boy? You could have like Lance from Apocalypse Now.
Dandelion.
You need a machine person, like
Well, I think what we're missing is
Donatello.
somebody who maybe has a bit of an expositionary role, who like
That's what I meant by
who spots the ship first.
That's what I meant by the John Voight character.
Yeah.
what about like a Joker, kind of like who like welcomes the person on, and is kind of initially an ally, but maybe
You don't have that person actually, the John Voight character.
I thought the cook is going to be the one that
No, I was saying like a professor, somebody from the arcane world.
The John. Well,
put
John.
a John Mulaney type in.
The 5th character
Yeah.
is John Mulaney.
It's just John Mulaney.
Can I just say I am so thrilled to be here on a spooky ship.
I do not like this ship. I think, but yeah, we don't. John Voight isn't. We don't have him on there yet.
Yeah.
We need the person with an ulterior motive.
Okay, ulterior
His
motive.
name is like
The
fucking
cook's
Barnacle
been
or
with them for
something.
years. He's not part of this.
Yeah, the cook
conspiracy.
knows.
Oh, so
what
the
he's
cook-
doing.
He's just a shit. We just don't like the cook.
But one of the things we said about
I
this
like
crew
him.
is that they've been sort of sailing together for years.
Yeah, he's a passenger like the adventure.
Oh, an extra passenger. Fucking great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we need. Let's put one more person in the crew and we can just off them really quick.
cabin boy.
Cabin boy.
Cabin boy.
Cabin boy.
I don't want to.
I was just joining in. Android, fucking, I don't know, shark. Make it a shark.
I'm not going to make it a shark.
Shark.
I refuse.
Shark.
Why?
Make it a
Make it
shark
one.
boy.
What about
Make
a
it Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Make it a Lava Girl.
Dennis Sharkman.
Dennis the
Dennis
Menace.
Sharkman.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis Sharkman.
He's a hacker.
Yes, he is.
Dennis Sharkman. Now, what?
Fantasy hacker. It just means he
Oh
has
no,
an
you
axe.
just say
Great. Dennis Sharkman is the navigator. Thank you
Yes,
very much.
yes,
All
it's
right, good.
perfect.
Dennis Sharkman.
Dennis Sharkman
And he's the only one that gets a first name. Everyone else is known by their surnames.
Yeah.
And then it's Dennis Sharkman.
Oh, we should have had.
and Preacher's known as Preacher.
Yeah.
We don't need. I was gonna say we need like.
Preacher and Cap.
Yeah, I was gonna say we needed a Brett and Parker type like, guy that's like the engineer.
Warby Parker?
No, the brick
Yeah.
the
The man who sells sunglasses?
Yeah. Why not? Put a little fucking shop in the middle of the ship where you have to walk around it. It's
Damn
fucking
me, this
annoying.
is a one shot. We don't have time for a
The hottest woman you've ever seen works there.
I think the engineer can be the brick shit house.
Yeah.
No, Mo, there's not going to be a cabin twink.
No, that's the cook.
Oh,
the
give him a
cook,
cabin
the cook is sort
twink.
of the cabin twink.
You know what? I misgendered you before, so you can have a
We
cabin.
do get a cabin
you do
twink.
get one
That's
cabin
actually
twink.
it's an add-on. That'll be the expansion. Is then you can have the cabin
They
twink.
worked out how to do a crew with just 5 people, but one of them is just the cabin twink.
Yes, lives in the walls.
I need to fucking email Christopher Booker and tell him to update his list.
You know one thing you forgot, Mr. Booker.
Okay, great. So, and then we have, in addition to the crew, we have the loner, or the mysterious passenger.
Mysterious passenger.
Sharkman.
And that's
It
your
is
that's
I,
your
Hercule Poirot.
That's your Kurt Russell character.
Well, no, our mysterious, hopefully, David, our Kurt Russell character is our heroes.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to remember that, like,
Yeah, of course.
our part of this game has to be, somebody gets to be
Yeah.
Kurt Russell. But our mysterious passenger knows that there is a wreck basically on the way to this thing.
Stop shipping the crew. I can see you doing it in the chat. Stop it.
Also,
You
stop
can't-
saying shipping the crew.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. If they're It's too on the nose. If they're on a ship, you can't ship. Okay.
Goes by me suggested influencer, which is very funny.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Navigator. Cook,
They are
engineer,
why the trip got funded. Yeah.
Here, sir. It's
Another day on the cover,
old man.
It's an old man.
Ahoy, sir. We've been influencing on many a ship. They told me that fire no guns and shed no tears when anyway.
Do it for the grab.
Went into the water.
Okay, so mysterious passenger who knows about this thing knows that the ship got scuttled because I guess like one of the passengers sent up a fucking magic beep boop that.
Yeah, and chartered the ship they're the reason that the ship is making this journey. Our heroes were quite lucky. They're like, we're going to dipshit Idaho, and the ship was going there. But
fantasy, I don't know.
he has chartered.
Be dip-
He's actually said, I want you to travel this direction to dipshit Idaho,
you know what?
because he wants them to bump into the ship.
But that's a little subterfuge you don't even need. He can just be like, I got a job for you. Go get the ship.
But they don't tell the heroes.
Maybe he has.
I liked that they stumbled against a con.
I reckon we're giving our John Voight character too much. I reckon he can like see what's going on when they get to the ship, and
It's the guy. It's the weasel guy from Aliens.
it's Paul Reiser.
Yeah.
Was it your father who never forgave
Reiser
Paul Reiser?
from Mad About You?
What?
A friend of mine, or maybe it was somebody on Twitter. I can't remember, but somebody was telling me that their father got so angry at Paul Reiser's character from from Aliens that he hated him for the rest of his career and refused to have Mad About You in the house.
That is so funny. That's so funny. But no, I was just going to say, he just, like, there's just as a sabotage at some point that is impossible to detect, you know?
Yeah.
And he gets them pregnant with Alien. But no, that
also
wasn't my dad.
I think what you were going to say, which is just that he's an opportunist and he just betrays them because he knows a little bit more about what's going on and he realizes the value and probably identifies what type of monster it is before anybody else.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just don't want... I think it's adding a weird artificial step to be like, oh, I'm going to charter this ship so it bumps into a ship. This is a ship that you can charter to go anywhere. You can just be like, hey guys, there's a ship that I want you to go find and it's there.
I get that.
Yeah.
The only reason why you'd want them to bump into it is for dramatic reasons and also so it makes sense that our guys are on board.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, I think he's a guy who just knows the value of what of what's loose because maybe he like knows what kind of creature it is.
And
Yeah.
he works out what creature it is and he keeps it to his fucking self for a bit and endangers them all.
But I also think it could literally just be that he has been waiting for an opportunity, like a ship that's fucking going in that direction, and then he's like, I need to be on that ship, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's like he is a like whatever the equivalent of like fantasy Paul Reiser.
Yeah.
But he's not like Paul Reiser has like so many like false pretenses in his plan. This guy is just like a guy who is like a weapons dealer basically, who knows all about like fucked up creatures.
He's Quintana in Con Air.
yeah.
He could be a guy who's like my master has sent me to do this, but he's the master himself. So he plays low status, but actually he's the kind of
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
I just want somebody to like not be like, haha, this was my plan all along, but to like see this thing, realize that it's picking people off and that only they can see them and be like, oh my god, it's the dipshit Idaho monster.
Yeah.
That thing is worth a lot of money for me personally, Johnny Fuckhead.
Yes.
And so he's going to try and like capture it rather than escape.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, we can do the thing where they flee, but maybe he also untethers the boat.
Yeah.
The ships, and he's like, no, we're going to get this thing.
But that's not... He hasn't thought
Zero something, because the fucking the Shrike pilot's fine. It's just everybody's dead.
Yeah. Well, I see what you're saying, right? Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It could also be that he, when the captain makes the decision that I'm sorry that the cook's dead and Brickshit House is dead and Preacher's dead, we're getting off the ship now. There's still just enough people for us to get to shore.
I can't allow you to do that.
Or he somehow smuggles the ship. They've injured the monster or whatever. He smuggles it onto their ship.
Yeah.
Cool.
And tries to hold it in a cage that's not going to
Yeah.
work.
Plus,
Somebody did point out that I've made the villain an expert on cryptids, which is what Mo is.
Yeah.
so their name is no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that makes sense, and also he doesn't mind, if these other cunts are dying, because then he doesn't have to split anything. Once they figured out what he's doing.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk encounters.
Okay.
Great.
So I think a really simple thing would be that if we first of all, if we're talking about the sequences of the monster's attacks, it would make sense to kill the cook first, because it's violent, but it doesn't establish itself necessarily as a massive threat.
We're jumping ahead, but I think it's good to jump ahead because this stuff is fiddly. Like we will work out like the pre-game, like the sort of pre-monster stuff, the getting to the Shrike and finding what our heroes will find and stuff before people start dying. But it's also so good because we have NPCs to play with, and because we have a monster that has agency. We can decide when it starts picking off the crew. Like
that's what I'm doing.
We can decide when it starts picking off the players. We can decide when it starts, like, when they can start seeing it. So we can have a scene where the crew is like, where the cook is like, I just came back from the hold and there was this fucked up thing there. Yeah. And they can be like, oh, Johnny fuckhead, you're always going on about things.
Yeah.
Fuck off!
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. So yeah.
I just said what you were about to say, but like kind of at you and loudly.
But no, I totally agree with you.
That's why we work together, I think.
So at the very beginning, everyone's so scared. The cook's like, oh, I think I saw a monster. Everyone's like, no, it's empty. There's probably isn't a combat encounter because it's D&D.
Yep.
There's like wild animals that are on the ship because there's like body parts all around.
I think it should be in it, and you can tell me to fuck off and die, and that you don't want to be friends anymore.
Well, that would be hugely.
Yeah, but wait till you hear what I'm going to say.
What she's going to say, yeah.
Slur. And, I was going to say that I think it would be like kind of fun and actually quite scary if like the first encounter was like an environmental encounter.
How so? Explain.
And I don't know
Chimpanzee
whether
has a gun?
the chimpanzee has a gun.
Well, it could be the chimpanzee goes crazy and they've got to it's tearing somebody up.
And that's because
it's
it's
seen the thing, so it's like...
It's just John Carpenter's The Thing.
It's seen a DVD of the remaster of John Carpenter's The Thing, and it scares the shit out of that
and it
monkey.
can look like anybody.
It does. Yeah, it could be an environmental thing. The fire is part of it, but like I wonder if they get on the deck and they think that, oh, there's probably a wild animal here because they've been massacred, and someone's like, nah, it's probably mermaid tribes or whatever. And then they're searching the ship. They do find some monsters. They fight those monsters, but then the cook, who was hiding from this fight and ran away, comes back. Is like, I saw a bigger monster in the hold.
That's fun. I like fighting the chimp.
Is that the thing?
No, the chimp doesn't go.
Dogs go wild.
Yeah, but they don't have to fight the dogs.
They don't fight the
Well,
dogs.
they sort of do. They shoot them.
They're not. The dogs don't attack. The dogs
And the dogs
No.
aren't pets. The dogs
And
are
also-
tools. And this is a pet and a friend.
Yeah, I also think fighting a chimp is a fun encounter because, gosh, they're strong.
They are so strong, and I've been having this fucking argument with Tom so much. A chimp could absolutely fucking tear apart a bear, and he doesn't think so. But a chimp would kill a bear. No, I'm not. I have to go to the toilet.
A bear is probably as strong as a chimp.
Yeah, but it's not as quick. It's not as quick.
I think it's
Dave,
sharper.
Here's the thing,
Okay.
and I'm going to explain to you why I'm ruling in favour of Demi because
Yeah.
I'm a fair and merciful judge. But I think with a one shot, I kind of want to keep it all relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I kind of want to keep it so everything they fight, everything they have to do is related to our main mystery, our main story, our main monster.
It's a slightly weird thing, which we've never done this podcast before. This means it's a sort of a level 1 adventure, I suppose. Then, because that's not.
interesting.
Because the thing about if it was mermaids or some kind of wild animal is you can scale it to however many you need.
Sure.
But I guess you could say that the ship's mascot is
Just a
challenge.
team of chimpanzees.
No, it's basically a domesticated challenge rating equivalent monster.
Yeah, I think so because also like it's domesticated until it's not, right?
Yeah,
so you can make it as hard or as
Her pet Drake, her pet
Yeah,
bugbear,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. Because I think I think that I like the idea that there are scavengers that have come on board, and it is a good misdirect. You're right, it is a good misdirect to be like, oh, maybe it was these things that killed them, and then there's that great line which is in so many movies, which is like, no, these are just the scavengers.
Yeah. That was exactly the scene I was saying.
Yeah.
No, let's go.
Chat, what do you think?
Anyway, let's jump forward because we don't need to do this in sequence.
Yes. So let's talk about order of deaths, and let's talk about when the DMs can start targeting their party because that's the difficulty, right? Like that's going to be a tricky mechanical thing.
I think that I assume that basically the first 3 people are going to all be NPCs because you want to be down to very few NPCs before you actually start fighting. Because it's not like it's going to be a combat game where you don't want it to just turn into a free-for-all, right? It's always going to be a hunt. So that's why I was going to say it makes sense to me if like the cook dies first and then the really competent brick shithouse character dies, establishing that it's a real threat. And then maybe the preacher goes mad and says that everything was fine until you people came onto the ship.
That makes sense to me.
People.
But I'm just saying, to mix it up, then you have to fight the preacher. And then while the preacher's happening, it kills poor Dennis Sharkman. And then we're now into the end game.
I think that also makes sense too, because if you think about the like, you know, in Alien, it's like it kills, you know, the way that it got on there, then it kills their fucking captain, and then it just kills some cunt, you know? Like, just go, I think it goes like Kane,
And
Dallas, Brett. Who gives a fuck about Brett?
Dennis Sharkman is our some cunt character.
Yeah.
Our cabin twink. If you
Well, now it's a hate crime, Dave, and we can't do it.
we didn't do it. The monster did
The
it.
monster did
we're not
do
meant
it,
to like the
wasn't me.
monster.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, that's
Just be
true.
challenged by the art you consume, right?
Yeah, I think
The chimp, people aren't going to be mad about fighting the chimp, though, are they? Because it's not a cat.
No, it's fine. We were saying that probably for a higher level, it would probably be like a monster or something.
I think you'd say to the DM, like, however high your party is, just domesticate X. Because then X is going to go crazy.
Yeah, it's just an X.
I also
It's an
think
X.
potentially
It's my
they don't have to kill the chimp. I think they can, like,
Subdue the chimp.
subdue the chimp.
Seduce the chimp.
Seduce the chimp. And fuck the chimp.
Fuck the chimp.
Yeah,
A
I
lot.
like your hair up like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's so curly and nice.
It's good.
Oh, actually,
Yeah, so Grug just said something which I think is interesting, which I think is very true in like a film, but I don't know how. I'd love to make it work in like in a campaign, which is like this thing shouldn't be able to be bested in combat. You should be able to outsmart it.
yeah, I think that is genuinely to me the only way to make it as scary as possible. Because if you can fight it effectively, who fucking cares?
Interesting idea in the chat, which came from Mo, which I think is really interesting, is that it's far too powerful for the power rating of the party, but it actually will drown. It can't sing, and basically
It can't sing.
It can't swim.
It's all just.
Your opportunities are leave it on the boat to starve to death or get it off the boat. And somebody else said something in the chat which I love, which is when Dennis Sharkman dies.
It's such a fucking good name.
Dennis Sharkman is like, oh my god, it's here. Preacher, everyone was right. Preacher had seen the creature. That was the tipping point. The monster was hunting Preacher when Preacher turned on them. And
that's a great death too, because if Preacher is one of the last people to die, it's Dennis Sharkman.
This is what I'm saying. Dennis Sharkman's like, the monster, it's here. Everyone be still. And they're like, they turn and there's nothing there. And then they look back at him and he's like, no, it's not my time. I don't want. He's crying. And then he goes up a foot in the air. And then cracks.
Yeah.
And everybody's so sad that Dennis Sharkman is dead. But that's really interesting too, because as soon as he does that, then you as DM get to go, all right, Fisto.
Roll. Everybody roll.
Everybody roll.
Yeah.
So
Now
the
you
roll
see,
is it's random.
You can see the monster.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so like.
This is a good adventure.
Yeah, it is. Also, I'm imagining just the most gruesome death, and I can't stop picturing it in my mind. It's scaring me.
Simon's drawing it. See if you can describe it.
Oh no, it's really bad.
No, just give it a go.
I was like, both of his arms snap. All the parts of his body that will hurt the most snap first, and then his neck was what I was thinking of. It's very horrific.
And just the front teeth.
And then all of his teeth get pulled out.
I wonder how
His eyeballs explode.
I wonder if there is a mechanic there. Is this necessarily something like, and it's not a boggart because J.K. Rowling stole that from someone else. Boggart.
So it's called a boggart, and it's smelled too.
Does it have a form, or does it take on the form that is the thing that you're spooked about?
Well, yeah, that was what I was thinking, because I truly.
That's how it works. Isn't it?
I truly
it's how the Turf Wizard show works.
Yeah. But I think that here is my argument. I'm obsessed with horror, and I think this is a legitimate thing. It Follows is insanely scary because it has a billion forms, and they're not particularly meant to scare you, but they're incredibly scary because they're clearly soulless. And some of them are scary, and some of them are nothing, and some of them are people you love. So I think it is. I think this is also potentially a. You just create a rule set for this. You go like. DM, you decide, is it a fucking 7 foot tall man that,
Sure.
you know what I mean?
I've got a really simple rule set going off what you said, Demi,
Yes.
which is...
Oh, it could be my quirk.
It is...
Could be on quirk.
It takes the form of somebody you saw die, but their eyes are black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it can, for anyone, it can start taking the form of Preacher or Dennis Sharkman if they love that character or whatever. But also when you're playing with your adventurers, it's like...
Oh, great, it's Stilge.
It's Stilge.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just is
So
somebody you've seen die.
Somebody you've
Yeah.
seen die. That's
Well, I worked really
But-
hard on this drawing of a monster. I guess I'll just.
You might have seen.
That's
might have
the
seen that
pet
fucked up.
that they saw die.
That's Kevin.
That's Mr. Kevin.
Dennis Sharkman. That's Sharkman.
But also, I just want to say, if it fits the moment, you very rarely can break that rule, and that is just something that I would do, just because, like, do
No, like it.
you know what I mean?
I don't know how the physics of that works, but also it's like if it's like.
Because maybe it does that to scare you. It shows you someone that.
But what is the thing that is throwing you across the room? You know what I mean? Like, how is that moving you?
How is it moving you?
It's that guy.
It's him.
Yeah, maybe like if you haven't seen anybody, what if you haven't seen anybody die? It's somebody saw in a movie. It's Macaulay Culkin in My Girl.
Yes.
I mean, the thing I really like about It's Something You've Seen Die is that for Dennis Sharkman, it does take the form of a bugbear, possibly the pet bugbear, if that's a character, the chimpanzee or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can still have is pulled a foot up in the
Yeah.
air and breaks. It has the form, it has the power, it has the strength of that creature.
It can do
What
it
if
anyway,
it's like
though.
an open
Actually, you're right.
whatever
It's super strong.
The monster is that it's like got an open mouth, and that like as it comes out of the shadows, what you see is like like bugs that have like the head of like a little bug.
Yeah, like
that,
yes.
That
yeah.
like something like a bird will go like, oh cool, a little caterpillar, and then the rest of the spider goes.
Yeah,
Oh, it has a pilot. It lures you with a pilot, like a pilot.
Yeah, like a
a
anglerfish.
pilot soul.
You know what? I'm just getting bogged down in details. But like, I don't think it matters.
The DM will
nice.
enjoy all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say the only reason that I was like, occasionally you can break the rules is because that would be an insanely scary thing if you have figured out it shows you dead people and then it shows you your mum who's not dead to your knowledge. You know,
yeah,
shit
yeah.
like that. Like,
But also, I think if you do kill it, you get to see
what
what
does the
it's.
creature know?
it's
Oh yeah.
magic. Come on.
I think that as it dies, you get to see what it is, which is Simon's fucked up bug thing.
Yeah.
I think
So that's
also-
its actual form.
I think it also
what am I-
cycles through a lot of the different dead people that it's been as it's dying, and it's like, and all
yeah.
the faces come
Yeah,
back
like
and all
when
that
Willie
shit.
dies in Treehouse of Horror, which I assume is
I think
Freddy
you're right.
Krueger.
Yes,
You actually only
that's
perceive-
You know that really fucked me up as a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
It's
one?
bad.
That Treehouse of Horror where
Treehouse of Horror is very
Willie's Freddy Krueger.
All right.
He's Freddy Krueger, but he's also... Oh, no, it was just Freddy Krueger.
There's
some-
a shoe on the
There are
bus.
some scary ones. There are a few of those that really scared me as a kid. I think it actually is Simon's bug thing. It always just looks like a creature, which is why it's so much stronger because it is this actual thing that would fit in that giant crate that they had for it. You just see it as people.
Yeah, you see
Yes,
it,
yeah.
and when it throws you across the room, it fucking does it. Like, who cares?
With the bug, yeah.
It
you
just
can't
does
see
it, yeah.
Yeah.
It just does it, and it's super strong, and yeah.
All right, it's coming back.
Yeah.
We love Simon's
Bug.
But the other thing I thought is like, what if it has some aspect of the person that it previously killed?
Oh, it takes their stuff? Like
It adds their bones to its bones.
Yeah!
So you've
As
got,
their
like-
bones.
Oh,
The face of the.
I like it.
I don't know. It's too complicated.
We might steal it
And
for
it can
another
cook
thing.
really good.
Can cook
But I mean, I love
Ooh,
that I do love that it can sometimes talk to you through their voices and things like
Yeah.
that. So
It's magical.
It can really make a preacher who's on the edge absolutely
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's slightly psychic, I think, is like the thing I'll steal from Doctor
Yeah.
Who. It's not psychic, it's slightly psychic. It can pick up like
resonances.
resonances, tastes.
And it does its best, but sometimes it sounds all fucked up.
And
Yeah.
we don't need to know what it is. We don't need to delve deep. But for instance, the preachers on the ship because they lost their road.
And
They
this
were
is great
defrocked.
because as we said, like everybody on this ship has
Yeah.
huge regrets
Exactly.
because they are on a ship like this, so it's feeding on that.
Yeah, so the preacher, was like going to be defrocked, and then they got a young priest killed, and then they had so much regret
Pregnant.
that they. that they sort of flew, that they fled, and then it's now become this thing. And it's like you all knew my secret.
Yeah.
And you're all laughing at me.
Yeah.
Like that scene is I really like.
So
Yeah.
I think the cook, the version of the ghoulie that the cook sees, isn't like I just saw my bloody brother. It's like somebody it's like somebody he can't really place.
Yeah.
Because I think.
We want to work this out slowly.
It could be like the waterlogged corpse of the waterlogged corpse of a sailor that's drowned.
There's a silly sailor who's been drowned.
Like they literally just thought it was like the most disgusting, waterlogged zombie because they've seen them before.
They've seen somebody like fall off they've seen them die.
Yeah, and if you really push the cook, he can kind of be like, it actually kind of looked like this guy I saw at the Battle of.
But that's optional. Like
Bing Bong.
if you're fucking questioning him, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'll tell you that wasn't a person. Yeah, that was a dead corpse. I've seen people who've died like that.
Oh yeah, Greg again has like has a pretty good idea of like it could actually be someone the cook's murdered, but never really saw their face. Like,
But that's cool as well though.
But I do love
Slit their throats, took their purse, pushed them in the river.
Yeah. We can use that for someone, maybe even Mr. Sharkman. But I also really like what.
Please call me Dennis.
I love the waterlogged, the thing that was like an obvious monster, because that's just like great misdirect where you're like, oh, we're looking for a waterlogged zombie as opposed to some guy.
It doesn't have to be person. That's right. We agreed on that.
Yeah.
So it could be like, and that could be really cool because it could be like the cook can be like, I know how to take one of these down. I've killed one of them before.
It's a troll. It's a sea troll.
What if it appears as like a bunch of rats because that's what it's been eating in the bottom of the hull for ages?
Like a rat king.
Yeah.
Because if it's I guess that's
The cook would have to have seen. Yeah.
Well, the cook's definitely seen a lot of rats.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's great. It's something the cook has killed. It's the first thing they see. I do think that we still. So we don't have the first encounter anyway? The first encounter is actually the monster, but we don't think it's the monster.
No, we still have the first encounter.
Great.
Yeah.
really quick, and this is so stupid and minutia, but if it was the kind of thing where, like, I was just thinking that it would kind of be cool if the cook had killed somebody and didn't see their face. They were like, okay, so what did they look like? And he was like, it was like, because it's filling in your brain and he doesn't know what it looked like. Like he saw this thing's face.
Oh, so
and
it ran out right at him, but he didn't see its face. And it's like you said it ran right at you.
Yeah, that kind of thing. I was just because that is spooky to me.
That is spooky.
So he saw it, but what did it look like? And he's like
that scene in Eternal Sunshine, The Spotless Mind, where he keeps trying to turn the guy around.
Which again in The Simpsons, very scary when that happens.
It does happen in The
Marge won't
Simpsons.
turn around.
Oh yeah. Do you think Johnny Cash knew that he was voicing a space coyote?
Yes.
He does have that one line.
Yes.
Which is space coyote.
Do you think he thought that was a metaphor though?
Yeah, because honestly, like, if you just wanted to trick Johnny, you'd be like, oh, it's like he meets an old man in the desert.
And his name is Space Coyote.
Show him some trial art. Really throw him off.
Okay, great. Let's say that's what happens. First encounter is a chimp goes or pet goes nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next encounter is cook finds monster.
Yep. Because Cook flees the rampaging pet and then comes back and's like, oh my god, I think I know what killed those poor people.
Yeah. Cook flees. Yeah. So by the way, whoever is in the future could be even future Ben who's writing up this adventure. This is the part of the podcast you want to start listening to because we're recapping. All the rest.
He's gonna put a time mark in.
Yeah. This is the part you should be. If you've listened to anything before this, you've wasted your time. So it starts with they board the Shrike. Immediately the chimp goes hog shit mental. They have to. I think they shouldn't kill the chimp, but that's just a little note you can put in the DM.
Yeah. Hey, try not to kill this chimp.
Subdue the chimp.
Or if they're really close to killing the chimp, make the chimp say a slur.
Yeah.
That's true.
Make him really nasty.
Yeah.
They can force one out before they.
And he's never spoken before.
This is all getting in the way of future Ben's work.
Sorry, future Ben.
Once they kill that chimp or subdue that chimp, what they're going to do is they're going to be with the cook. Oh, this is just like Snively. What's his name?
Snively. Snivelson.
Snivelton.
Just Cook.
Yeah, that's just like Cook. Thank you, Shakira Khan, everybody.
Shack.
Oh yeah.
Dennis Shackman, right? Hey?
Once they kill the...
Right? Hey?
Stop it! Thank you. Once they have done that, the cook comes out. He's like, guys, it's a sea hag. I've locked it in the brig.
Yeah. Don't worry. I know how to kill one of these.
I know how to kill one of these.
Brick shit house
You gotta
with
kiss
me.
it to death.
Maybe there's a line of dialogue like...
Oh, actually, do you know what? To slow it down, but I locked it in. We're safe.
That's what I said. Locked in the brig.
Yeah, so they don't have to now go in and kill
We do
it.
just shout our own ideas back at each other. It's a wonderful friendship.
We spend too much time with each other. Yes. Okay.
Oh, look.
Cheers!
Hey!
And it's shouting a slur.
Once they get to the brig and the cook is like, okay, I'm going to open it up. 1, 2, 3.
Well, what I was actually shouting at you just then was that I locked it in the brig. We're okay, and now you can slow the action down a little bit, and they can actually have dinner, or somebody got ripped up by the chimp, and they can
Have a standard drink, chat.
Simon poured mine, and I reckon Simon knows.
Oh, that's probably not quite a standard drink. I think Ben's is probably more a standard drink.
That's a standard drink?
It's a
What are you
deep,
trying to-
I just
deep
don't
bell.
want to... I'm driving, and I don't want to...
Yeah.
You can.
You'll be fine.
If I go to jail, Simon Grant...
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a breathalyzer. Here,
Bartender's
breathe
on.
in my mouth.
Oh, Crunk, you can't fucking...
Fuck.
Shaq, there's a cup in Ben's bag.
Get his ass.
So...
Snitches get stitches.
Gordy and Knots just put a time code in the Discord for when you can start listening to the episode, and it's off by about 6 minutes.
Okay. So, Cook finds the monster, locks it in the brig. There actually isn't a lot of urgency now. The captain can actually be like, let's take stock of what this is.
Some of you are injured. Let's Dennis Sharkman. You're the ship's medic, the ship's doctor, because that's the role we don't have.
That's Dennis
You got
Sharkman.
the this is the Ash is sitting everyone down and being like micro changes in air density, blah 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 blah. Alien.
Okay. Yep.
This is this is what it is, and this is how we're gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, but also like this is where they realize this is a ghost ship.
Yeah.
Like everybody who was on the ship is dead. So maybe they find like a leg or something spookier than a leg. A butt?
A butt and ass, yes.
I just had such a fun idea, by the way, which is if we are gonna write these up, maybe we'll do this from the next episode. If people want to draw stuff along, we can populate the adventure with Simon's art, but also other pieces
Oh yeah,
of
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
too. But we'll credit no.
No,
please.
no. But I think that I will only push back slightly and say that actual like parts of a person are much less scary than traces of
Yeah, oh definitely. I want to do like
What about like spray of gore, like a silhouette of somebody who's like being like, and somebody else gets killed, and so it's like a
and
perfect silhouette of
it's
them.
cool if because we now have a doctor, he can be like, this is
This is a cave painting.
no. It's gonna be like this is some body part like that isn't
metatarsals everywhere.
isn't immediately identifiable.
I mean, kind of like a fucking Blair Witch thing where they open that package, it's all bloody, and I literally still don't know what it is. I think it was like teeth or a tongue or something, and you just don't know.
But also, like, we don't have to kill everybody who was originally on the strike. Some people jumped overboard. Like, we don't need to account for all of them, is what I'm saying. Like, we don't have a corpse problem.
I think a lot of them jumped overboard.
yeah.
So
There's one guy who's just like got the back of his pants hung on the end of it, and he just starved, hanging off the back of the ship, trying to jump off.
So, the captain is...
One of the monsters that the monster does is a guy with a big wedgie, because it's a dead guy that's sick. He's got his pants up his bum.
Quickly.
How much time you got?
We've got 13 minutes. It's okay. Basically, then the captain is really, really happy because the captain is like, "Holy shit, guys! This is like corpse or like bits aside. This is a fully This ship is damaged in no way. We have hit the jackpot here.
Yeah. Like it doesn't need treasure. We can sell the ship.
Yeah, and maybe even to like our adventurers, can any of you navigate? Because I'm gonna have to navigate the carpenter and blah blah blah, or maybe one of his own crew. No, he's one of his own crew.
All they need to really do is just check it, leave somebody on it, drop the anchor, go to shore, bring back people. There's a whole plan. Like
Yeah.
So they do that. They go, before we go, we need to take care of that troll in the brig.
Yeah.
Come with me. cook if you're so good at it, and bring one of the adventurers along with you.
And the cook's made some kind of like potion to kill trolls.
Yeah.
Something
It's a
useless.
ham.
Now this is interesting because they
Magic
open up the
ham.
brig.
Poisoned ham.
and-
Poisoned ham.
And everybody can't see it but the cook. So initially, I think the way that you do this reveal is the captain is like, fuck, it got out. Well,
Yeah.
this is just what I need. And then the cook is like, what are you talking about? It's right there.
I think it should be pretty fucking like when he first sees it. It's that to me strikes as like a fucking comes back pale faced moment, and he's like, I just fucking saw something.
No, because this has already happened. So this happens before we do the
I
inspection of
get
the
you.
ship.
Yeah, go.
So he can be a little bit like, I'm a bit shook, but also it is something that he has killed before. So like, we don't want to say like we found the monster.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. That makes
I
sense.
really like the scene, but I wonder if you want to do this a few deaths later because you're now putting all the witnesses there to see it. I wonder if basically he's like, I'm going to make the potion to kill the thing, and then in the morning we'll kill the thing, and then that night dies. And then they come and the cook's dead and the pantry's open. And we just advance it. I think maybe we don't see the first one die because we want to be
Yeah.
able to escalate.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think.
Alright,
I
it's got to
agree.
be pretty fucking like low priority. Like it's got to be like it's not a bunny, but it can't be like something where the captain will be like, no, let's kill that thing right now.
No. But I think also the thing that makes it work is he's like, I know how to kill one of these. You need to brew this thing.
Okay.
And that takes time to make.
Maybe the last thing he actually murdered, that he killed, was like a big octopus, which was in a stew or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like a joke. But so it looks like a big like squid monster or whatever.
Yeah.
Feeds it to the adventurers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. That's fine. We don't need to witness the death, but we do need to witness the next one.
Yes.
That's also cool because he's like, I know how to make the thing to kill the thing, and then he dies, and they're like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Now what are we
totally.
gonna fucking do?
I like that. Yeah. I love
Yeah, because they'll still think it's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
From the John Carpenter.
From John Carpenter's. Yeah.
And so the doors. It's there. They're dead. And
Fuck yeah. Gordian does have a point that the snivelly guy dying first isn't great.
Oh
for,
wait,
like,
is the
tension.
cook the snivelly guy?
Yeah, I mean,
just
we
make
can
it
just
somebody
check-
else.
Make
Make
him
it
a
the other
bon
guy.
vivant.
it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this character is.
Make the Doctor the snivelly guy. I've never seen that.
Yeah. I don't think
Except for Dr. Smith from Lost in Space.
none of the stuff that we're doing with the cook requires him to be really snivelly. So
Yeah.
so let's just make that he's not snivelly.
Stevenson.
And
Cool.
this character works quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually he's really brave.
Yeah. He's actually cool and brave and hot, and he's got a
really
big
brave.
hog.
Okay. Well,
that
okay.
in.
So then Cook dies in the night.
Yeah.
Cool. Then what happens?
And so now we don't know how to make the thing. Some people are like, well, did the monster get out? Some people are like, tension is rising. Some people are like, is there another monster on this ship?
Yeah.
Because the doors are still locked and the chain we put there is still there.
They also need to, Future Ben, or maybe this is somebody else, in that scene where they're surveying, they also need to find an opened crate.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think next one to die though is Captain, right?
I think we said shithouse next to establish how...
Yeah. Sorry, shithouse.
Yeah, shithouse, to establish just how fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's like again, it's like the
Gwendolyn shithouse.
Gwendolyn shithouse. Yeah, I think that's the fucking all right, I'm taking charge moment, and then they're like, oh fuck, you
Yeah.
know, the Dallas in the vents.
Actually, maybe I think I know the Gwendolyn shithouse scene. We're making a film, so we got to remember to make this interactive.
Yeah.
But I think eventually they're like, we don't have the thing. Oh well, maybe it was done. I'm gonna just go in there. I'm gonna go in there and fucking find this thing. He said it's an octopus. I can just fight it. And if it's gone, we'll at least know it's escaped.
It would be
and-
so funny to punch an octopus.
But basically, she goes in alone. She shouts out.
Whack,
She's
whack.
like, "There's nothing here. I
Plop.
can't see it. Oh no, wait, I see it.
Glap.
I don't know what he was talking about. That's not an octopus. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be." And then they die.
And then they get thrown from the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like just a quick scene
It's
like
just,
that.
like, look, you're right, that is a great scene, but also, like, what have our adventurers been doing this whole time? Like, they've just been watching a great film.
When an NPC, you are right that when an NPC says "leave it to me," I'll go fight it. You're like, no, that's my fucking job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But, I mean, like, what we can do is send one of the NPCs in with Gwendolyn. And
But you're not splitting up the party. I guess that's the thing as well. The issue with
I think the monster's missing, so you split the party to search the ship, maybe.
Right, yeah.
But by split the party, I mean NPCs go somewhere, party goes somewhere else.
yeah, because also, like, the thing is, we can just have that scene, but they can be there and there can be a little fight, but they're fighting something invisible.
Yeah.
We're
And
gonna,
there's other-
we're gonna
there's
have
other
to rip
stuff
the
to do.
band-aid off eventually.
Yeah.
Like, We're going to have to rip the Band-Aid off. And
Oh, you're right. Of course, I forgot that the monster can still fight you. It knows it's not going to kill you. You don't know that
But
yet.
if you're like attacking it, it's still going to fucking fling you across the room.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Can you just throw a bucket of paint on it and you see it?
No, because of
The magic.
The
You forgot about
It's
the
the
magic.
magic.
You forgot about the magic.
The
Now you
magic
look like
spell.
an idiot, Simon, because you forgot about the
You're being
magic.
really silly too.
Asking, because that's how I would.
No, but that's
I
why
think we did that.
You
We
have
did-
done that.
We've done
They
that.
do that. They fucking do that in It Follows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they fucking
Do you know
put
what?
a sheet on it or
I
whatever.
think the way the magic works is anything like that, Simon, will help for a little bit, and you get a sense of a big shape that's not very octopusy shape,
Sure.
but then already it's fading, and then
Yeah.
it goes invisible again.
Don't patronise me.
No, we like your idea, Simon. Look.
Look, he's writing it down.
He's doing it from such a high distance.
Yeah, because he thinks it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I only use this very special pen and grip. No, that's fine. So the NPC, the Gwendolyn fight is one with NPCs. That's great.
Yeah, and that's good. That's your second encounter. You don't want too many combat encounters in one shot, but that's your second one.
Who are we killing? We've already killed the shithouse and we've killed the cook.
Yeah.
We need to kill the captain and the preacher and Dennis Sharkman.
I think that then so there's a quick emergency meeting outside, and they're like, the monster gets out, right? Obviously, it bursts through, knocks the people, kills Gwendolyn, knocks the heroes, and storms further into the ship. And then the captain's like, we have to split up and find it. It's somewhere on the ship, and we get the sense that Preacher's getting weirder and weirder and weirder. We split up.
Yeah.
And I think the way that this works is that you get the adventurers investigating the ship, finding some stuff, finding diaries, finding notes, finding whatever, and then they come across the preacher.
He comes
and
across that guy who got his belt caught on the back of the ship.
Yeah, and the guy with the big wedgie.
But the preacher's been cooking, and they're like, it's your fault. Everything was wrong until you
Oh, she's been
came
cooking like,
Yeah, mentally. And then she's like, if I just need to kill you, we can go back to how it was, and we can leave.
Yeah, we can make him nutso. That's fine. Somebody said that this would be a
I
good
love a nutso preacher. You're going to give me a
Yeah,
nutso
yeah.
preacher.
Someone said this would be a good Call of Cthulhu thing that you could build in with sanity meters and stuff
Yeah.
for sure.
I like not bothering with that extra layer because I think if you do the genre strong,
Yeah, it can fit into
doesn't
it.
Which
need to
extra
have-
layer?
Like
mechanics.
What are we gonna?
Oh, yeah. But also, yeah.
Ideally, you'd be able to run this as a game of Twister, though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you should be able to.
It's that robust that it'll fit into any.
Yeah. The one mechanic which we add to this, which is great, is that every now and then you roll a dice, and then the monster is hunting that person. Like,
Because we don't necessarily have to. I think after Gwendolyn, right? That's when we start. You can start randomizing deaths. That's when it can be. Oh, the creature has marked one of your guys.
well, I don't know the order of it, and maybe these two things happen simultaneously. But for me, that scene that we talked about, where Dennis Shipman or somebody gets jerked up in the air and they see somebody kill them, unless that's now the Gwendolyn death.
'Cause we could-
I think you're right. That is the Gwendolyn death.
Because we could do a twofer, right?
Yeah.
We could have as soon as Gwendolyn dies.
Poor Dennis Shipman.
Poor Dennis Shipman goes and says something that is like very opposite to what Gwendolyn said about what they could see. Because remember, nobody's had time to debrief.
Yeah.
So like,
And that Dennis has just said, I can't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, and then and all of a sudden Dennis says something that is very, very different to what Gwendolyn has said, and then gets his dick ripped off.
Yeah.
Only problem that I am just realizing about once you start marking the people, the player characters, is like,
What happens?
well, you're just.
You feel that
now
three
you
of them
get
are
to
invincible?
die.
Well,
No,
the
I think-
monster has to be like, the monster has to have some mechanism where it's like, okay, not you.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. Well, that was what I was gonna say. Was like you're just rolling a dice and being like, oh bugger, I'm gonna
They'll be
die.
scared for a sec, then three of the adventurers will think they're immortal, and then they'll start taking risks and being, well, you can't fucking kill me. And then all that has to happen is you suddenly, the creature, you can see it, and it turns around and it looks at you.
Yeah.
And then you could even break that rule, and now two of you can see it. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You do whatever makes it spooky.
Yeah, I mean, like, Grug has got a good point that, like, we haven't actually talked about what the monster wants. Does it want
It's
to?
just- no,
does
it's
it want
hunting.
to
It's
eat?
hunting.
No.
It's
Does,
a pain.
does it want to eat? Does it want to escape, or does it want to hide?
It wants fear. I don't know.
Yeah, who does it
Wants
want to
hurt
eat?
them.
Why does it want to eat someone first
Why
as
does it
opposed to
mark
somebody
people?
else?
Exactly.
Is it just one?
because they're
if it's
vulnerable.
If it's an abyssal monster, it may just have a ravenous hunger. It will live for 1,000 years, but it's
So
hunger.
it eats folks?
But it's just but it's always hungry. It doesn't necessarily.
That
starve.
simplifies things.
It's just always hungry.
Yeah, cool.
But it also doesn't have to be that it doesn't have to be physically hungry. Also, it's magic, so it can be hungry for scaring them to death. Like
And I
that,
do think it knows.
yeah.
It knows that it will die outside of this ship because it can't swim. It'll just sink to the bottom.
It's actually scared of water, I think.
That's just monster instinct, yeah.
Yeah, I think making it hydrophobic is good.
Yeah.
And
that's
Pour
also
water on it, it'll just like bead right off.
And that's also why it probably
Yes.
freaked out. It freaked out, and this 3 months of being on the boat was like terror for it.
Yeah. Also, do we think it's... Yes, okay. So, it was in its crate. Gosh, it was a very strong crate to hold it. It must have been like a fucking iron chest, because
Well, I
we're saying
think
this
they
thing is very
Spell
strong.
on it.
Spell on it, or they were keeping it
Turn the bloody spell thing back on us, didn't he? Look at him.
or they were just like, we just give it a rat a day. It's staying alive and it's weak. Whatever. You know?
Yeah, it's fine.
You know, one of them.
Let's
one
just
of
quickly work this
Rat
out.
Day keeps the
So
monster
Gwen
at bay.
dies, then Dennis dies, and then we're left with the preacher and the captain.
Preacher's a psycho.
And then we have the scene where they fight the preacher, and then it's just the captain
Great.
now. We don't need the mysterious passenger. Fuck him off.
Fuck him off.
And,
Sorry, John Voight.
And so now now it's just you and the captain. And if you're the DM and they love Dennis Sharkman, you kill the captain at that point, and you're with Dennis Sharkman.
Yeah.
The point is, it's you and your favorite NPC
Yeah.
left, and now it's a fight.
And now, and also after Dennis Sharkman dies, we have a conversation with the captain. If the fucking players haven't worked it out, the captain can be like, the captain could even be like,
Wow, you big dummies.
could even be like, I know what this thing is.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard about this thing. I know what it is.
I think also eventually you can find a diary maybe that describes.
Yeah. So we.
I love it if the
by
knowledge,
time,
the people on the Shrike worked out what it was, but it was too late.
Yeah.
But they can die to pass on the information to warn the next crew, which is
Yeah.
Alien. I know it's Alien.
but they also can, depending on what kind of one shot you're playing with your players, they can be like, we got to sink this ship.
Yeah.
Like.
You're going to have to roll new characters.
But if you were playing like a one shot,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
weren't playing with characters that you were gonna.
Oh, yeah, suicide mission's great.
Yeah.
All right, and then it's just down to their favorite NPC, whether it's the preacher or Dennis Shark, but it's probably gonna be Dennis Shark.
And it's a fight where they've got something that they can lose. It's all over the ship. You're mapping it. It's running in the shadows. It's doing things. But how can we need a timer? What makes combat is so boring in D&D unless there is an escalating threat
We
that
need
isn't the combat. So the ship has to be on.
Nostromo's shutting down.
The ship's on fire.
And we need to go get the ape before we get on.
Do you know what I think it is? I think in the fight with do you know what the fight with the preacher could be actually?
The preacher does something that.
Well, yeah, rather than just generic, I've gone cuckoo bananas and I'm going to kill you. If the preacher is like, there is evil on the ship, we need to sink it, and start sabotaging the ship.
I think just you pull the fucking lever on the ship and it's going towards a fucking iceberg. Like then there's something genuinely approaching or whatever.
Yeah.
If the preacher's
But
just like,
all-
I don't know.
But also the ship sinking in some way gets hydrophobia across really well.
Oh yeah,
because
okay.
you all of a sudden have this thing where the creature won't go,
the
and
rigging.
like, sorry?
It's in the rigging.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
their thing is we have to. This is great. This is a good combat with timers because then they're like, we're tied. Our ship is tied to this ship on 4 different points. We have to break these ropes. We have to keep the monster on this ship, and we have to separate the ships. And then the one shot ends. They succeed. And then if you want, because you're that kind of DM at the end, you're like, and then the next, 3 days later, you see Dennis Sharkman. He's like, I think I saw the preacher on the ship. And their eyes were black. Roll credits.
Yeah, love that. I think we've done it. Like,
Yeah.
I would have liked to have maybe fleshed that out a little bit more, but
Well, I
in terms
imagine
of-
it's going to be quite a lot of invention in writing it.
in terms of like what we set out to do, I think we did it. Well done, everyone.
Yay!
That was and well done, chat. That was some really great stuff from everybody in there.
That was good. I particularly liked when they were going to call the ship the Cuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.